All right, it is time for Architect Designer direction number 7. Add at least 6 Architect Designer details from the handout. So we have the handout. It has several different choices. You need to choose a minimum of 6, maximum of 8, and that counts 6 individual choices. You could do 6 trees, for example, but it still counts as one thing. So 6 different things off the list. Okay, and then what you want to do next is you actually want to plan this out and you actually want to draw them on your base. So what I did is I drew the driveway where I wanted that. I drew the shrubs where I wanted those. I drew the little sidewalk and an area for a step. I drew where the tree was, which I've already made. I drew where the in-ground pool is, which I've already made also. And I also drew a step over here as well. So I have drawn at least 6 details from the list. So you want to kind of plan things out to make sure you know where things are going to go and everything you want to do is going to fit. Because sometimes you have to change your mind because you might not get everything to fit. So materials, what we're going to go through first are mini sticks. So I have a container that has mini sticks. There's a container with some that are brand new, not cut down. These are basically just little rectangle pieces of wood that could be turned into matchsticks or filed down for toothpicks. So you can get new ones out of here. Also have a container where some that are already cut down. So if you have some that are left over that you didn't need that were cut down, we can reuse those by putting them in this other bowl as well. So we have 2 ways to cut down the sticks. Okay, one way is you can simply measure out the length of stick that you want. So if I wanted to, for example, outline my driveway in mini sticks, I could set it on here. I could put like a little pencil mark on there. And then what you can do is you can hold it between your finger and your thumb. Always go away from yourself when you cut. And the strongest part of the scissors is right in here. This is the weakest part of the scissors out here. So you want to open it up, going away from your skin, and you put the stick right in there towards this upper part of the scissors, and then you hold through it, and then you cut right through it like that, and you get the piece that you need. And if this is the piece I don't need, then I can put this in the bowl with the leftovers. Then I would just go ahead and glue that down right there. Another way to do it, I'll go ahead and measure again for the length that I would need. And so I have that part right there, and so I would do the same thing, but instead of going between my finger and my thumb, I would hold on to the end right here, and I would go ahead and spin the stick around several times, again with the strongest part of the scissors right in here, and then do that several times. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of sawing through it. I do that several times, and I can take my fingers and I can give it a little break there, and you get a pretty clean break, and then I could have the part for the stick to go ahead and glue it right down there in place like that. So once again, between your finger and your thumb, always going away from your fingers, away from your skin, and you cut through it right through here. Or you can hang on to the end and then spin it several times, okay? And then you can just break it with your fingers. Those are the 2 ways to safely follow directions to cut the sticks. Other ways, you could injure yourself. If you just hang on to the end and you just cut through it, what it does is it puts pressure on the stick, and as it cuts it, it also snaps it, and it could snap and go right up in your eye or someone else's eye. So you never want to hang on to the end and just like cut through it because you don't know where the stick's going to go, and that's not being safe. So we have the mini sticks. I also used the mini stick for the pole for the basketball hoop here. I'm going to finish here in a little bit as well. Okay, so those are how you can use sticks, and you just glue them into place. Next thing we have is sand. So there is a bowl of sand, and what you do is you just go up to the desk, and this is a mixture of coarse sand, and coarse sand are the pieces you can pick up individually, like individual little pieces, like one at a time. That's the coarse sand. Fine sand is the really small sand that you cannot pick up one at a time, but pretty much that's all mixed up. So what you do is you put some on your yellow paper, Okay, and then you just go to your table and you just go ahead and work like over the table. Okay, over your yellow paper on the table here is what you're going to do. So, for example, I'm going to go ahead and just, instead of outlining my driveway, my sidewalk with sticks, instead of doing that with sticks, I could also outline my driveway with sticks. But instead of doing sticks for the little sidewalk here, the little walkway, I'm going to do sand instead. So I'm going to move the big pieces, the coarse sand, out of the way. And then I'm going to have all the fine sand right here that I want to use. So what you do is you get some glue. Okay, I'm going to put it here on the walkway. And then I'm going to spread that out with a stick, one of these mini sticks. So you want to cover the area with glue. So like that. And I could actually outline it with sticks and do sand, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the sand. And then I'm going to take this really fine sand and kind of sprinkle it on here on the glue. It's good to put like a little more than you need to kind of cover the area, and you can kind of just tap it down with your finger like that. And then working over the yellow paper, I'm going to put the extra back on the yellow paper, and then I go ahead and I have the little rock pathway or the sand pathway I have there, which also counts as a sidewalk. So I have that part right there, and I still have room to put my little stick back here for a step, and I could have outlined that with sticks, but I just decided not to. Okay. I could also have a fine sand like driveway as well, or I could just outline that with sticks as well. So that's how you use sand. Okay, when you're done, extra sand goes on the yellow paper. Okay, you go back up front and you just kind of funnel your paper, kind of roll it up into a funnel, and you just kind of funnel it right back in the bowl. So please don't waste sand all over your table. Okay, please get it on the yellow paper and work over the yellow paper. Okay, and that's how you can use sand for one example of sand. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get ready to go on to the next two materials.